It's Late Night Lori, coming to you on Wednesday, August 6th at 11:28 p.m. That's why I'm Late Night Lori. Welcome. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, coming to you from Wisconsin. Now, I was hoping I had resolved my issue with the elongated pictures, because when I watch on my iPad, it looks like they're a little distorted. On my camera, they look fine. I thought it was because I had my phone plugged in, and that might have had something to do with it, because when I unplugged it last night, the distortion went away. So I'm actually going to plug this in, but we're going to go with it. So, welcome. Thanks for stopping by, whether you catch me live during this video or if you catch the replay. If you like the projects, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Helps me build my channel. Feel free to share. Feel free to case what I'm making. Let's do a little bit of crafting. Quick commercial. Yesterday started the 15% off of 2025 to 2027 in color products. So Cloud Cover, Darling Duckling, Secret Sea, Strawberry Slush, Timid Tiger, products that have those colors are on sale. Some exclusions might apply, so there might be something that has those colors that won't be on sale, but it should be like paper, inks, some of the ribbons. If there's designer series paper that has the in colors in, my understanding is those are going to be on sale. Fifi, you made it. Haven't seen you for a while. Did you get a notification? This was my second attempt to go live. My first attempt, my camera didn't, it was weird. Still haven't been getting notifications. So I did a little research on that. Hello, Vicky, welcome. So Fifi, I did a little research on resetting like the notifications for YouTube. And what I found, whether it'll work or not, somehow you have to go into your settings. I'm glad you watched for it, Fifi. If you go into your phone settings, go to your apps, select YouTube, and then in the it might be in security. I'm trying to think. But you have to kind of clear your cache, or the things that are backed up to your phone. And once you clear those, you might get your notifications again. I don't know. It's just maybe. Yeah, allow notifications. Vicky, she was getting them before, and then all of a sudden she's not getting them anymore. So unless your phone did some kind of update, they might have reset themselves. I don't know. So I am doing Sunrise Sailing again, just because it's a fun set. I pulled out last night a few of the cards that I have made over the past many weeks. This is one of my all-time favorites. Excuse me. This one I liked too. I did a little chain stitch with the baker's twine. That was kind of fun. That was an idea I got from Stampin' Up. Oh, you don't use your... Well, maybe you need to clear the cache on your laptop. It might be a similar issue. I don't know. This one was fun too. Kind of bright, bold. This one I did a faux layer on it, basically. I masked off, or I used a die cut, a piece that I had die cut out, and I just used it to mask and did some blending brushes. This one I did some paper piecing. And this one last night we did this faux step card. And I really liked how the blending turned out. This is not the bokeh paper. This is actually blending brushes. And this was one of the pieces that I had used to get my sailboat base, because I put my thick basic white under the cardstock piece. Yeah, we tried doing the undoing it and doing it over, Vicky, but isn't that pretty? It turned out, I thought it turned out really good. Vicky, those are great suggestions. So maybe Fifi, you can give those a try. On your computer, it might work. You never know. So tonight what I thought I would do is I pre-cut a few of my seagulls. We're going to layer those if I can figure out which ones go together. I'm going to do some more blending on here, but I want to run this through my die cutting machine again, inked for the water. All right, but I'm going to do that after I do some of the blending work on here. And guess what I did? I used my adhesive sheets. So hopefully I won't have to struggle so much with those little seagulls when I want to glue them on. And this paper, this is Timid Tiger, which is one of the in colors. This stuff might be on sale. I didn't check yet. But this is the Celebratory Sips 12 by 12 designer series paper. There's lemonades and drinks and all kinds of stuff in there. But I liked this stripey piece. And I'm not going to showcase that paper because I've done that before. But I snatched a piece out of here and I cut it like a 4 by 6. And then I just sliced it so that it would fit in here. And I ran it through the die cut machine, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Because I thought rather than do another layer on top, we did some swap cards on Sunday. And one of the cards we did, let me go grab it. One of the cards we did used an old technique where you die cut your image and then you just put designer series paper behind it. So I thought, why not do that here? So we're going to do that. What I would recommend is, because this is a 3D embossing folder. No, it's not. It's thicker, but it's not a 3D. But it ripped just a little bit through my designer series paper. So you might want to mist yours first. But we're going to use this on here because I like the color. And actually, I think we're going to cut another one because I did not realize. Oh, never mind. We might not have to. There's a little piece down here that my designer series paper didn't cover. So we'll get to that in a minute. Base, 8.5, 5.5, scored at 4.25. I do the whole sheet. You've heard me say that before, because why not make 2 bases and have 2 of them ready to go instead of just one. So let's go ahead and burnish that. I'm going to set that aside. I think I will try to put our seagulls together right away, because I think if I have them doubled up, they might look even more cool, kind of like our nerdy popcorn guy. Just a thought. So these 2 are going to go together. And luckily, these adhesive sheets, have you ever used these, ladies? I like them especially for, oh, that's true. That's a good point, Vicki. The little hole won't show anyway. Yeah, we'll take a look, because it's not going to have a stripe there either. But these adhesive sheets are really nice for when you have got small pieces like this. So let's just kind of pick this up and put these 2 together. Hopefully this is not going to be more trouble than what it's worth. There, that worked pretty good. And then I'll just peel off this back layer when I'm ready to put it on our card. But at least then I only have 3 pieces to worry about instead of 6. So, yeah, fat fingers. And I don't keep long fingernails. I don't know if you've heard my history at all, but I was an EMT for a while. And under my EMT license, I not only worked on the fire department in the ambulance, but also worked in the emergency room at a couple of hospitals over the years. And we couldn't have long fingernails. We couldn't wear nail polish. You know, our fingernails could only be about 1/4 inch long. but no polish, not even clear polish. So I've just never kept long nails. For one, I used to bite them as a child. Stress, I guess. And my nails just aren't very strong. So, all right, there's those. We've got that part done. So I also took a piece of pecan pie and cut out a piece of our little boat here, kind of like what I did last night. And we're just going to trim some of this off here. And I'm not sure how much of this stem is going to show. Probably, if we just do a little paper piecing up here, the boat's going to cover where my little hole was anyway. We can probably just snip it right in line with this here. All right. So what I thought I would do with that piece is use I'm going to get this out of the way. You know me, messy stamper Lori. With my early espresso, I thought I would do just a little dauber work on here and give this just a little more personality than just plain old pecan pie. Like I said, I ran it through the embossing machine, so it's got some shape to it at least. But at least now it'll have just a little personality too. All right, so this will go here, but I'm gonna wait to glue that on until I have this Timid Tiger piece behind there. And this is just an extra in case something didn't work out. All right, this is an extra piece. So let's get to some of our blending. The first thing I want to do is make sure I don't lose my dye. I'm going to use the lightest color first, which is going to be our Darling Duckling. And we are going to make kind of our little sunset or sunrise. And we're just going to add some of this color on here. If you haven't noticed, I really enjoy my blending brushes. And yes, this piece is too big. I will be cutting it down to fit the card front, but where I cut it will depend on our mood when we're done. We'll see. All right, so there's some of the Darling Duckling. All right, let's take some Timid Tiger. And we're going to make another little layer of color here. Now yesterday with this card, believe it or not, there was Timid Tiger under here, but the Darling Duckling under here, but it kind of got overshadowed by the Timid Tiger. So I'm trying to be a little more careful to not cover all of the Darling Duckling. And I use a circular technique. Some people just go back and forth. I like to do circles because I think it just gives me better color blending. All right. Then let's do a little bit of the strawberry slush. And this strawberry slush got in there just because I was getting rid of some of my ink. But when I saw that on there, I thought, oh, why don't I just save this? And I'll make another card out of this. And I'm just blending some of that strawberry slush into the Timid Tiger. these colors, these in colors, I think I mentioned it last night, but I think they work together as a group of 5 colors better than in colors we've had in the recent past. Just had to get a little bit of water there. All right. That's looking pretty pastelish. Let's do a little bit of cloud cover. Now I did get one of the cloud cover ink pads. These are not available to customers. They are only available to demonstrators for sale because there was some color shift that Stampin' Up! Wasn't happy with. I have a feeling we're going to be cutting off at this side a little bit more because the cloud cover didn't blend on that cloud very well. But we're going to take some craft ink and highlight some of those clouds anyway. I'm trying to get a little bit more blue here so it looks more cloudy. And then I'm just going to put a little down here. We're going to put this through the embossing machine with that Secret C anyway. But I want to have some of this blue because the Secret C, when I ink it up, should fill in the back pieces, not the top pieces. And I'm just going to use this at 5.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So I'm about down as far as I need to be, I think. All right. So anyway, I did get some cloud cover. I ordered some. They should have been on sale because I just put in my order yesterday. And I'm going to have a special for my customers if they purchase a minimum amount during August. The first 5 people, I'm going to gift them a full-size ink pad, and hopefully it'll be a true color. But if the color shift isn't quite matching, then it's not like they had to waste money on anything because it'll be a gift. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So let's move on to this embossing folder. I am going to ink up, I need my Secret C. I'm going to ink up the top of the embossing folder. Hello, Sarah, welcome. I'm going to ink up the top here. Let me get my little scrap paper back here too, so I don't have to be quite so careful. And I don't really have to worry about where the sailboat part is because we're going to cover that up anyway because it's cut out. So I think that's good. And we are going to lay this in here where it fits already because this was already die cut and embossed. So let's hold our horses for just a second. Get my machine out here. And all we need for this should be these 2 plates. I don't think we need a shim at all. All right, so again, I've got this seated in where it should be. I'm going to close this and I'm going to do a no-no. You bought a blank felt pad and a cloud cover ink refill and you made a pad? Yeah. Some of them did react to the foam in the pad, but I've heard also that it didn't react to the felt. I am not a real big user of the Stampin' Spots, so I took my chances on the cloud cover, and I think the color is really pretty true. So let's run this through, and hopefully this worked. But another thing I discovered was the Secret C. If you stamp it off 2 to 3 times, you end up with cloud cover. I can show you if you're interested. Let me get this out of the way. Keep your fingers crossed. Oh, a larger one. Okay, sure. That would make sense. I am actually hopeful that at some point Stampin' Up, look at that. All right. I am hopeful that Stampin' Up will get stamp pads made from the Close to My Heart ink pads that they had available. I don't know if you've seen those. I got one when we first started getting the Close to My Heart stuff, but they're magnetic. These are awesome. No struggling. You do have 2 pieces, so you have to kind of watch. Hi, Mama Juju, welcome. But these are really cool. So if I think they purchased the rights to this design, so maybe someday we'll get some different stamp pads that we don't have to struggle with quite so much. Now, one thing that I don't like with this is that I did get a little of the black or the Secret Sea ink up kind of high, and some of it didn't cover here. All right, so let's do a little bit more blending with the cloud cover down here so we can fill some of this up. And some of this is going to get cut off, so I'm not super worried about it. But we can make this look like that's what I intended. And who's going to know the difference except us? And then this piece here, we're just going to have to accept it, I think, because I don't know that I'm going to do anything about it. I can put my sentiment there, and that will cover it. All right. So I think that's going to look kind of fun. All right. So let's trim off and make this. We'll start with 4 by 5.5. So let's do our 5.5 first. And then I want to take some of this off because this got a little funky for me. That's even a pretty strip. You know what would be pretty too is if we did something like this and then just cut the strips and made a strip card. And then we'll go to 4 here. All right, we'll hang on to those scraps. And then if we go back to our card base and this piece, we're going to go ahead and trim this down now. And we'll trim that off. We'll trim this off. We don't need those. And then that's going to go right in here. This will go here. And I wanted it from top to bottom, but I still wanted some of the Timid Tiger to show on the sides. So that's why I'm thinking 4 inches. We all good with 4 inches? And I'm going to go ahead and put a little Tombow liquid glue around here. And we're just going to add this piece of Designer Series paper. That'll work. And then what we're working off, Sarah and Mama Juju, is kind of this card I did at a swap on Sunday. So it's the cutouts. This is not a new technique, but then we just put Designer Series paper behind where those cutouts were. So that's what I thought I could kind of do with this one. So let's go ahead and line this up. I think that's pretty good. All right, so I ran that through the embossing folder, so it's got a little bit of texture there. And then I took a piece of pecan pie, inked it up with just a sponge dauber with early espresso. All right, so this, I'm gonna go ahead and we're kind of doing paper piecing and filling. I don't know what we call this technique. So we're kind of putting a bunch of techniques all together and using some leftover stuff from last night's card. Mama Juju, I don't remember. Did I show you last night's card? This was the card we did. So it's a faux step card. But I did some blending on that yesterday and I liked how it looked, so I thought I would use one of my scraps from yesterday because this came out of here. So I thought I would make another card. So I'm going to flip this over to this side. I had to wash my glass mat yesterday because I've got adhesive on it, and I have adhesive on it again today. So do we need to let a little bit more of the Timid Tiger show? Do you think I should trim these down just a little bit more? Or you think we're good? You love that name? The Timid Tiger? What name? All right. More border, less border. Give me your thoughts. And then I think I'm going to do... Maybe we'll just do Ahoy again. I want it to be just kind of a general card. Looks good, awesome. So let's do maybe Secret C for our sentiment, do you think? And I can use this little scrap here. Oh, I have to put the seagulls on too. I just saw those. Here we go. I thought I lost one. They're all there. Whew. All right, we'll attach that as is. All right, so we'll put a little Ahoy down here. Usually I do not tend to tap my stamps in my ink. I usually take my ink to my stamp, but this is such a small one, I figured I would be okay. Especially for my classes, because usually what happens is if they take the stamp into the ink, it goes squish, 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 and we have a big mess. So I think I'm going to get my little trimmer just because I probably won't be able to cut straight today. I just have a feeling that'll work. So we can put this here. Of course, I should probably trim that a little snugger. Or I could fussy cut that one. I didn't fussy cut last night's because I thought it looked all right tucked in there with the square here. But maybe I should fussy cut that one. I'm not going to set it on there for right now just in case. It's kind of, it would kind of cover up where there's no water here for the boat though. I didn't notice that on my other cards. Oh, but that's how it is. That is how it is. I might do a little, let's do a little sponging there because that was just a little too bold. I wonder if I have my blending brush for my Secret C. I might want that a little bit darker. Maybe lower in the water, the Ahoy. Well, I was trying to cover up this. I don't know if you can see that, where I wasn't careful enough with my... I wasn't careful enough with my inking of my embossing folder. But we'll just add some... We'll just add some more blue here. At least it won't be quite so yellow. So it won't be so darling duckling. All right, that'll work. Okay. Yeah, the greeting lower in the water. Because that would, well, this actually kind of makes it look like light is shining on the water. I was just trying to cover up this piece here. So we might put a different grading on, who knows? Too bad it doesn't have mate. Like we could do ahoy mate, but that's not one of the words in the set. That would have been fun though. So we're going to start at the top. And with the multi-purpose liquid glue, I like it because I've got wiggle room. But I also try to line it up on the top, and then I use my fingers to glide it down to kind of keep it straight, and usually it works pretty good. That's pretty good. So there's that. Oh, let's take a look. We have we could do some kind of knot, but that would probably look silly. Let's try this fussy cut and see if I like it any better. It just seems a little harsh to me. So we're just going to round this out a little bit. Not like a real crazy fussy cut, just a abstract-ish kind of fussy cut. Well, I'm not sure that I like that either. We might have to look at a different sentiment. I don't know if I'm happy with that. So let's go ahead and put some of these seagulls on. Now there are some seagulls here with the embossing folder, so I'm going to put mine right on top of a couple of those. And I think that's supposed to be a seagull too, or it should be a cloud, but it looks kind of seagull-ish the way I trimmed the paper. If I had my crochet hook handy, I could make another chain like on this card, somewhere on there to just accent it. The fussy cut greeting works for you. I just wish it was a little bit bigger. So I wonder if I did, I wonder if I got a piece of Secret C and made a little border around it. I wonder if I have a Secret C handy. You know, something like this. I'm just going to cut this down a little bit. The fussy cut greeting does look kind of cool. I think I'm going to put just an itty bitty piece of seal on here. To kind of hold my ahoy in place so I'm not fighting with it. All right. It'll be easy enough to peel off. Sorry, I'm not the best fussy cutter. It's not a skill that I use real often. I'm trying to make myself do it a little bit more often because I think it looks pretty cool, but I'm just not always real patient with it. I think I try to make it too perfect. So it seems like some people just like whiz through it really fast. I'm like, how did they do that? What do you think of that? And I'm going to put that on dimensionals. I'm just afraid it's getting lost in the water. Thank you, Fifi. Yeah, thumbs up would be awesome. Appreciate it. Or do you think we do the Ahoy up here? Or over here? Or over here and just cover up our little mishap there? And then do we want any... Thank you, Sarah. Maybe I should put it here to cover up some of that. I wish I would not have fudged that up. And I'm gonna make this a little darker. So I'm not going to attach. You still like it lower in the water? Like right under the boat or like in the water? Because I'm thinking maybe over here then, if we do it in the water. What does everybody think? Mama Juju, you like it in the water too? On the left side or the right side? What do we think? Left side, right side, and then do we need some embellishments? Yes, low on the right side, so like here-ish. Let me get some dimensionals. We'll put some dimensionals on that right away. Oh, and I suppose I should probably stick that Ahoy on there all the way now, right? Because I kind of like it with the border. I think it helped. Set it out a little bit. Make it stand out. And I'm going to use the mini black dimensionals just because I'm putting it on the Secret Sea and in the Secret Sea. All right, and then do we need some embellishments? I don't know if the embellishments would make it too much. And on the inside, what I'll do is take some of this paper and I'll line it up and I'll put a piece of, not like this, but I'll have it up here with stripes of this on each side coming out from under the layer. So I'll finish that later. You don't need to watch me do that, right? All right, I don't know if I need more bling on there or not. Or if we did something like this. And just tied a little knot. And I guess I should have made that a little bit longer because this knot is going to be really little. Because I didn't give myself enough space. Can she do it? Probably not. I lost my end. Let's cut another piece. What's a little ribbon? I always have ribbon left over anyway. Let's make this just a little bit longer. Like here. Yeah, I'm thinking the bling wouldn't quite fit the I don't know, the mood of the card, if you will. And this I'll have to tie a little tighter. That might work. Let's try this again. I can always take it off if we don't like it. I won't know until I see it. Those obviously are not my ribbon scissors. So we could put the knot so it's more down by the water. What do you think? Yes to the ribbon or no ribbon? It just seemed like it was kind of plain without anything. What do you think? What do you think? In the meantime, I'm going to cut these, and I'm just going to go 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch. I probably should have cut them down to 5.5 right away, because then I would only have to cut it once. But we'll make it work. This will be for the inside. The ribbon works. I think it just finishes it off so it just doesn't look like it was thrown together like it was. Nobody needs to know we just threw it together, right? But I like having the input when you give me ideas. It's a consensus, I guess. Mama Juju likes a ribbon. Fifi, Sarah, Vicky, we didn't hear from you about the ribbon. I think that's all who is commenting on here. I'm looking through there. So let me go, since we're done this far, let me go get a piece of white that will fit in here. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. And we'll do, I think 3.5 might work. We'll do 3 3/4 just in case. All right. So, husband interference. Yeah, mine's in bed. So I don't have that problem. And I say that with love because he is very supportive. He watches my videos. If it doesn't pop up a reminder for him, he's like, I couldn't get into your video this morning. So he helps me out. There was one night too, I had gotten wireless mics. What do you think of that? Maybe I don't even need these because the ribbon in here kind of sets that off. But I'm going to do a little color blending here because I want it to blend with the front of the card. So we're going to do a little more. I know, they're boys, right? All right, so I'm going to add some cloud cover to the bottom, because that will be consistent with the water on the front. And I'm just doing this lightly. I'm not even sure if you'll be able to see the blue, but this is the cloud cover. It actually, it's kind of a grayish, greenish blue. All right, so I think that'll be enough blue. Maybe the top and the bottom. That's a good idea, Fifi. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. So we can do that. Then I'll have to cut this down because, and that's fine. I'll trim those so if they went like this. The only reason why I was thinking 5.5 for this is so that it goes, oh yeah, that would, well, that would work. Because I wanted it to kind of flow with the front, because that goes all the way to the top and the bottom. We'll think on that for a minute. I'm going to keep blending here for just a second. So let's do our darling duckling. We'll figure it out. So I'm going to come in with some darling duckling here. And this is still going to be light enough that I can write my little greeting on here. Oh, that's a good idea. Then the strips. I like that. That I can envision that. Good idea, Fifi. We'll do that because I think that'll work. Now a little bit more Timid Tiger. I think I was talking about this earlier, that I really like color blending. Oh, and there was something else I wanted to do in the front, but it's probably going to be too late now because I put these other things on. I was going to use some of the Craft White to highlight some of these. But now I don't know if I want to do that. And then let's get some of the strawberry slush. And then we're going to put a little, let's do a little bit more of the cloud cover at the top, because I did cloud cover up here. And I don't want to pull the red tone into my blue. It's a little darker. And if we don't like this, I can always turn it over, because there's two sides to every piece of paper, right? We'll add a little of the strawberry slush all the way down to here. Alright, I got quite a mess going on here. So we could put this here, and that kind of pulls the front into the inside. I have a gel pen. Do I have a gel pen? I think this is, this is a gel pen. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these, but I'm not real practiced with it. But that would definitely be an easier way than trying to fight with my craft ink pad right now. And that would lighten up these clouds where I got a little too much ink blending on there. What do you think of that? So that was a good idea. I don't even know what brand this is. Jelly Roll. Isn't that a singer? Jelly Roll? I don't listen to a lot of the radio, but I think that's his name. Put a little bit on the sailboat ball there. And then actually, I could use a Q-tip to use some ink on here if I wanted to do like some little white cap action on here. I wonder if I could tone that down there a little bit. That's just a big wave coming over the sailboat there. All right, so I may work more with that jelly pen. I also have this chalk writer, but I don't know if this dries as well. But it gives a nice effect too. Can you see that? But it might not set as well. I'll just have to remember not to touch this for a little bit, and I got a little bit on the edge of my sentiment. And I don't know where I got this either. Crafter's Square. I don't know. We'll play with those too. All right, so I should have turned on my ceiling fan because I got a little warm. So let me cut these a little thinner. And this, I think I said 3.5. 3 3/4. So let's go 3 3/4. And then cut it in half-ish. The stripes are a little deceiving. I did order some of the pre-order things. I was just like a kid in a candy shop. I ordered, let's see, the gingerbread thing, the gingerbread set. I ordered the snowflake masks. I ordered the fall suite. I don't remember what it's called, but I think I'm going to do, I'm doing coffee and a card events at a local coffee shop, and I don't know, what do you think? I don't know if it needs it or not. Yeah, kid in a candy shop. Those are a couple of the things I really remember. I had to rein myself in because there's actually a lot in the online exclusives and the new catalog that I really like. So, all right, so here's our front. Here's the inside with our ribbon. And there's with the DSP that matches the sail. And I wonder if I would like it better if my stripes were going straight up and down like on the sailboat. Let's see if, let's see. So if I do like so, if I do like this, and we'll just, I need like 3.5 inches. And if I do about 1/4 inch, that might look better to my eye. It's just, it seems a little busy with the stripes going diagonally. So let's see if this looks better, because I think it's a good idea. I think that looks better to me. All right, so let's do these 3.5. Just put a strip on the bottom. Yeah, because it's lighter down there. So let's just cut these little puppies down a little bit. We'll see. And we'll go 3.5. Yeah, the timid tiger. Oh, how did I cut those wrong? I thought I did them 3. Oh, I know I did them at 3 by mistake. Well, maybe it was meant to be. We can put one over here and one over here. That kind of breaks it up a little bit. What do you think of that? It was maybe like a happy accident. That can be like our beach. What do you think? Or I cut another piece and make it go 3.5. You think it looks good offset like that, Vicki? Or maybe I should make those even a little thinner. Oh, Sarah, that looks okay like that. Vicki says it looks okay. All right, we'll do it. We'll do it. All right, so let's go ahead, put a little bit of glue on this. And then I won't have to think about it anymore because it'll be done. The Lights of Aurora suite. I have that on my wish list. I did not get it yet. It is, however, one of my favorites. Did you see how they did that? That was kind of like some chalk painting. It was really pretty cool. You like the top and the bottom, Fifi? Or Well, you know what I could do is I could have them offset this way. I wonder if I cut this one just a little bit shorter and had that one there. Let's glue this down. Peaceful Garden. Which was the one? Did you do Creativity Now? I'm trying to think of what that suite is called, because I already have that from Creativity Now. Let me go take a look. Peace on Earth. So I was able to get this set early. Peace on Earth from Creativity Now. So these papers are gorgeous. But this was one of the cards I did. I think they created it more like a box type card. Peaceful something. That might be this then. What is this paper called? Peaceful Garden. Yeah, that's what this is. So I already have Peaceful Garden. It's very pretty. Especially these glimmer sheets. Glitter makes me crazy. But these, it doesn't come off. So that's important to me. If I have glitter that comes off things, literally, it makes me really kind of crazy. It makes me just, glitter's got to go. So this is very pretty. So that's a good choice if you've got Peaceful Garden, because that's what this is. And this is the Peaceful Garden glimmer paper. This is the Peaceful Garden. Do you want to see these sheets, anybody? Or should we finish this card first? I get a little sidetracked. Both on the bottom or one on the top? Yeah, that stuff is cool. Let me pull out these papers. And this ribbon is gorgeous. So Mama Juju, are we saying top and bottom? TB for top bottom or BB for both bottom. Look at this ribbon. Isn't this gorgeous? And it's soft. It's soft. Okay. So when I do a little ribbon, let me get my little bow maker here. Let's do a little ribbon here. I'll show you. Wrap it around here. Look at how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous ribbon. Absolutely gorgeous. And then the embellishments on this are really pretty. Top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. Okay, that's what it's going to be. These are really cute also. This got put in backwards. I slice my packages so that I don't have to fight with the adhesive. And because I'm too cheap to buy other sleeves to put them in, because I figure what's the point? These are the Hues of Blues flowers. These are gorgeous. So there's white, and they come in 2 sizes. The cloud cover. What color is this? Is it Azure Afternoon? And then the Secret Sea. Let's take a look. We've got, they just call it blue, dark gray, and soft green. That's the colors of the glimmer paper. But these are really pretty. Misty Moonlight. It might be Misty Moonlight, yeah. Let's see what the paper is, not just the glimmer paper. Misty Moonlight it is. Yep. Basic Beige, Cloud Cover, Crumb Cake, Misty Moonlight, Pecan Pie, and Secret Sea. So good call. Misty Moonlight it is. All right, so let's go ahead and get this back in here. But it was really pretty set. So I'll do some with this coming up. Let me pull these papers out and I'll show you what they look like. And there is also an embossing folder. This is not a hybrid embossing folder. So even though there is a label die, so the label die will fit in here, okay? They have said, Stampin' Up! Said during Creativity Now, it was not designed, this is not as thick to accommodate a die putting it through here. So even though it fits, that's not how it's intended, all right? So don't do that. Just run this and run your dies separate. It's basically made to have a separate label fit into that design that you've embossed, all right? I love the little foliage pieces here. They're really pretty, but I like the grasses and the foliage things anyway. But these labels would probably make some cute little boxes too. You know, if you do 2 labels and then make a little box for the inside, you could decorate those pretty cute too. Alrighty, so those are those. I think that's all of the things. Because you saw these. Those are nice sentiments also. And not even just for Christmas, because this is sympathy, all the best in your new adventure, just a love. Big hugs for a good friend, you know, heartful prayers. This is really peace, love, and joy, and peace on earth are basically the only ones that are Christmas, specifically for Christmas. So this could be used for a lot of different things. All right, so let's take a look at these papers as soon as I glue this down. So that we can get this card done out of the way. Squirrel. I get sidetracked. All right, and I'm going to leave them shorter. And I'm going to have them coming from different directions. Just gives us a little bit of flow to the card. All right. So that's tonight's card. This was last night's little card. So we did some more blending to kind of go with this. And that gel pen actually feels dry. My chalk is still a little chalky. All right. So you're lagging again, huh, Fifi? Sorry about that. All right. So let's look at these papers quick. Let me get my inked stamp out of the way here so that we don't have a problem. All right, so those are the 2 sides of this one. This is like stars, and there's a die that has that, and then these are flowers, but they could kind of look like stars. All right, and then this is the front. I love this one. I think this would be great if you do memory keeping, to either do some stripes or to have it as the background piece with a lot of solid colors. But this would be fun too. Okay. And then we have side A, the doves, pretty. Now these are in stripes, so that would be good for a scrapbooking page too if you wanted to do a Christmas themed page. But this is really pretty. These are basically like branches with itty bitty little flowers. Can you see those? I don't know if I guess it's kind of dark. I don't have a light up there really close, but it's really pretty. All right, and then use some of this. I guess I used quite a bit of this. I cut it down for several of my cards. So here's side A, here's side B. This is really pretty. And then here's some more of the doves. And then you've got this basic beige or crumb cake, just for nice neutrals to go with the other pieces. And then here we've got a nice, like a branchy wildflower kind of thing, almost like baby's breath. And then this has got to be the basic beige. It's just like, I don't know, swiped plaster or something. It's really pretty. All right, so those are the papers for that. Very pretty. Very pretty. So I'm going to dump these things out of here right now so I can put my paper back. So I'll do some things with this coming up. Now that I've looked at it again, maybe I should do it this week. Next week, we'll see. I have a couple of card kits ready to go because I was prepping for a watch party with that. So that's Peaceful Garden. Pretty stuff. All right, so back to the card at hand. All right, here we go. It is very versatile paper. Very versatile stamp set. Pretty stuff. And then here I used some of our in color paper to make an envelope. I did it for this card, but it would work for any of these cards. So that's what I have for you tonight. Whew, got a little off on a tangent, but pretty stuff. All right. Embossing folder from Sunrise Sailing. We did the cutout for this card, and I did a paper layer just in the back, and that followed this card. Thank you so much, Fifi. I appreciate that. And then we did some blending. We did some fussy cutting. Did some adhesive sheets to do our seagulls so that they're a little more popped up. And then we played with the inside. I like it. I like it. So we kind of have an angle here and an angle here. I think it flows really well. My little happy accident here that I didn't do it quite as long as it was supposed to be. Thank you all for popping in, hanging out with me. Oh, Joe, I didn't realize you were here. Sorry about that. Yes, that ribbon is fabulous. I was looking at the comment and I didn't even look to see that you were here. Sorry, I almost missed that. So thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. Again, if you feel so inclined and you like the project, go ahead and give me a little thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Feel free to share this. And until next time, happy crafting.